the Tigers are leaning on their ace here in game 2 in the doubleheader. Minnesota won the opener this afternoon in 10 innings, 3-2. They have cut the Tigers' lead to just one game, and on a chilly night here at Comerica Park, we continue to decide who will win this Central Division. We'll check out the Twins starting lineup for game 2. It is presented by the Romani Eye Institute, and Art Span will lead it off. He'll play in right field. Orlando Cabrera batting second and playing shortstop. Joe Mauer is hitting third. He'll do the catching again today in game 2. Jason Kubel is the DH. Michael Kadire is at first base. Delman Young will play in left, and their bottom 3 features Carlos Gomez, Matt Tolbert, and Nick Punto. Here is the Dodge scouting report on the right-hander Justin Verlander.
Well, Verlander's the guy. If there's one guy on the roster that Jim would love to run out there in the biggest game of the year so far for Detroit, it would be Verlander. He has been a streak stopper as well, 10-4 this year after a Tigers loss. And one thing he'll need to do is stay within himself today. Minnesota's going to foul off some pitches. They're going to take some pitches. They're going to wreak a little havoc on him, but he needs to stay composed out there against a team he's had some difficulty against. Let's take a look at the defense behind Verlander, always presented by your Chrysler and Jeep Superstores. You've got Rayburn, who gets quite a few starts these days and leading off for the Tigers against the left-hander. You've got Granderson in center, Ordonez as well. You got Inge, Everett, Polanco, Cabrera. They round out the infield, and Gerald Laird catching a doubleheader here today. He also caught the first game when Porcello was out there.
Well, can Verlander get his 18th victory of the season? 17 wins and 9 defeats. Maybe his biggest start of the year here.
It won't be easy. Yeah, this Minnesota Twins team is pesky. They've got some guys that don't strike out, and they've got some guys that have had a lot of success against Verlander, and Span would be one of those guys.
And in game 1, Denard Span was 2 for 4. And he is ready to go to work. So is Verlander, and so are we. First pitch of the ball game is in for a strike, 0-1. Believe this or not, it is actually a degree warmer at night than it was for the day game today.
Kind of feels like it, too. I mean, it feels comfortable right now.
Yeah, not bad at all. 58 degrees. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Denard Span.
That's what you have to do to Span. Span's one of those guys that likes to get his front foot set real early, and therefore you can throw him an off-speed pitch and get him out in front because he sets up so soon. But when you throw him fastballs, his timing mechanism works perfectly.
Verlander tried to throw the fastball by him, and Span spoils one back into the seats.
And that's one of the reasons why Span has had success against Verlander. Verlander has tried to throw fastballs by him, and Span is hitting him at a .438 clip.
Span career coming into this doubleheader was a .413 hitter against Detroit pitching. He's just been a menace. The 0-2 is rolled to second. Polanco on the backhand. Good start, one away. Span is out of there. Keep him off the bases. That's a good thing. Here's Orlando Cabrera. Knocked in a huge run in that 10th inning, in which the Twins got 2 runs in the opener, and they went up 3-1 before holding on 3-2. That hit that Cabrera had was his only of that first game, plus an RBI. Slap foul, 0-1. Well, this is where Verlander has been at his best this year following a Tigers loss, and you got to believe that he knows coming out here tonight his team needs him to pitch them to a victory. Porcello did his job in game 1. The Tigers just could not back him with much offense. Fastball away. 1-1. Orlando Cabrera, veteran of both leagues. Bounces one left side and through. It's out of the reach of a diving Brandon Inge.
Joe Mauer has hit a couple of home runs off of Verlander this year, and one of the things that Mauer likes to do is take the first pitch, but he wasn't taking the first pitch back in August here at Comerica Park and connected for a 3-run shot against Verlander, and just a couple of weeks ago in Minnesota, first inning again, he got JV. So this is a big boy right here, and an outstanding player, outstanding hitter, and Verlander needs to be careful with him.
Well, the Twins had 11 hits in game 1, none by Joe Mauer. He was 0 for 4. And he looks at a strike. It's going to be a long day for both catchers. Both Laird and Mauer each caught the entire first game, and you expect them to do the same here in the nightcap.
A couple of weeks ago when the Tigers were in Minnesota, Ron Gardenhire said it was going to be awfully difficult for him to give Mauer any days off the remainder of the way because of what's at stake in the American League Central.
And likewise, Leland pretty much had the same sentiments for Gerald Laird because of the way he controls the game defensively.
Well, you have to have Laird out there with some of these rabbits that Minnesota will run at you because he has to shut down their running game. No disrespect to the youngster Avila, who does a nice job, but he is not Laird behind the dish.
Mauer had 368. He's hit 28 home runs. And he drives one in the air to center field, but Curtis Granderson is there. Cabrera retreating, 2 gone. So Mauer is still hitless in this doubleheader, 0 for 5 now. Here's Jason Kubel. What the Twins have done without their big gun and Justin Morneau is really kind of incredible. They have not been a very good road team this year, but they are currently 6-1 on this road trip, their final road trip of the regular season. Kubel hammers one foul back out of play, 0-1.
Minnesota has played some tremendous baseball down the stretch. They've won 12 of their last 14 games in the absence of Morneau. But for me, their season was kind of made in the first month of the year when they kept their head above water when Mauer wasn't playing. Mauer was on the disabled list the entire first month of the year.
That's a good point. We tend to concentrate on what teams do late in the season, especially in September, but April is just as important. And if you look at what they've done in their last 14, yikes.
Tigers and other teams in the Central had a chance to put Minnesota away in the first month of the season.
Just a little bit outside, 97 miles an hour. Verlander coming out throwing hard. 2-1. Justin, like Porcello, sporting the beard here for this doubleheader. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
That is a good fastball in a fastball count to a real good fastball hitter. Here it is, hit it. Verlander, one of the few guys walking around in a major league uniform that can throw a fastball by you right down the middle. Not many of those guys walking around. He reached back to get 98 here in the first inning.
That last pitch, and you talk about this often, Ron, it's a great example of a hitter who has to start early when you have a guy throwing this hard. And sometimes you just, even though that pitch is out of the strike zone, you can't stop your swing.
It's a great point. And if you're Kubel, you can kind of look out in the eyes of a Verlander, and you can almost see that he's trying to blow me away.
That's drilled in the air to right. Shallow coming in to make the play is Maglio on the side retired. No runs and a hit, 1 left. Verlander goes through the first. Here come the Tigers against Dunson. Ryan Rayburn leads it off. He'll play in left, followed by Placido Polanco, and then Maglio Ordonez, who's over 400 in the month of September. Cabrera cleans up. Marcus Thames, your DH in Game 2. Brandon Inge at third. Your bottom three features Granderson, Laird, and Adam Everett. The Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Brian Dunsing of the Twins. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
Without question, this is the biggest game that the youngster has pitched in his career, and he has been lights out this year as a starter, 5-0, with an earned run average of 2.06 in 7 starts. And boy, has he been a godsend without Slowey and Perkins and spotty starts from Liriano. It's been Dunsing that has stepped up as one of the aces of their staff.
Yeah, the Twins, unlike seasons past, have not had that pitching staff that has been dominant. He's done a terrific job down the stretch. Rayburn leading it off. He is playing in left field, and with the lefty on the mound, Granderson drops down to 7, even though Curtis is starting to heat it up now. Dunsing's 1-0. Rayburn came in the game late in the opener as a pinch hitter and finished 0 for 2. Ryan with 14 home runs, and that represents a career high. It's been a nice season for Rayburn. He laid off, but it's a strike. Ryan thought it might have been a little bit high, and asks Lance Barksdale about it. 2-1. Barksdale answering some questions as well, apparently, from the bench.
He won't answer many of those questions from the bench tonight.
Fouled away. Eleven of his 14 home runs have come against left-handed pitching.
He's become a real nice option for Leland in that leadoff spot, and it allows Granderson to be bumped down to 7th against lefties.
If Rayburn has not had the success that he's had in the second half, I wonder if Leland would have just left Granderson in that leadoff spot against lefties, or tried to find another option, because Ryan has really been good.
Good question.
And has really made that decision the easy one. 3-2. High fly ball. This will go foul.
Dunsing has all 4 pitches. He has the fastball, he has the curve, slider, and change. Not overpowering by any stretch of the imagination, and is probably his biggest asset is the fact that he will add and subtract on everything that he throws, and has the ability to slow the game down when the game speeds up on most young pitchers. He will throw you a changeup or breaking ball in a fastball count.
Bouncing ball to short. Cabrera has it. 1 gone.
Let's look at the Minnesota Twins defense behind Dunsing. You've got some speed in the outfield. They've got some throwing arms as well. And Young and Gomez and Span. The infield is Tolbert, Cabrera, Punto, and Kadire. Mauer behind the plate. That's the same team he ran out there in the first game, at least in the infield.
There's Polanco, who is 0 for 5 in Game 1.
It's not often we say that.
Absolutely not.
Especially in the month of September.
Some of his at-bats looked a little bit uncomfortable against Blackburn early in that Game 1. See, Polanco can bounce back here in the nightcap, batting .285. Dunsing's 1-0 pitch. Dunsing is 26 years old, born in Marysville, Kansas. He stands 5'11", 195. Began the season with the Twins before being sent down in April. Scott Baker was taken off the DL. There's a strike, 2-1. But Dunsing is back and providing them with a big lift this final month.
Throws lots of strikes, but that's usually the case with any of the young pitchers that we have seen come up through Minnesota's system the last few years. One of the things that they must do once they put on a Minnesota Twins uniform as a pro, they must master the fastball down the middle of the plate at the knees. And once they master that, then they allow them to go to the corners. But they have to throw strikes. And when they get to the big leagues, they throw lots of strikes.
It's almost as if you won't get to the big leagues if you are not a strike thrower. Their entire staff is usually toward the bottom and walks. Fly ball toward White. Span giving charge, but this one will be caught right up against the wall. Looked like it was headed to the seats. Nice play by Denard Span. 2 gone.
Denard didn't give up on it. He knows the wind's blowing a little bit right to left here tonight. And the wind kind of blew that ball back into foul territory, which allowed him to go up and make a nice grab.
Here's Ordonez. Maglio did not start game 1. He's batting .297. Just about back up to 300. And he pops it up. Right side of the infield, Punto to the grass. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Dunsing. No runs, no hits, nobody left. On our way to the second, no score. .49. Your Motor City Dodge dealers. On demand from Comcast. Watch hit movies, TV series, music videos, and more when you're ready. And buy Arby's Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger Sandwich. Try it today. It'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's. Back here at Comerica Park. Get your Tigers gear. Tigers and Twins. Scoreless game 2 in the doubleheader. Michael Kadire will lead it off for Minnesota. And Justin Verlander back at the hill facing Kadire, Young, and Carlos Gomez. Kadire in the opener 1 for 3 was also hit by a pitch. Verlander missing the outside corner 2-0. Justin threw 16 pitches in that first inning, allowed a single to Cabrera, but no damage. There's a strike in the outer edge.
When you fall behind a dangerous fastball hitter like Kadire, if you do throw that fastball 2-0 as Verlander did, you must thread the needle on the outside black.
2-2. Delman Young to follow, and then Gomez here in the second. Tigers 10 over now at 83 and 73. Just one game better than Minnesota. Off speed, and he got him out in front.
Absolutely nasty. As a matter of fact, we're going to make it our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. He misses with the first pitch, breaking ball. Also misses 0-1 with the fastball. So now he's fallen behind and he has to throw a strike, which he does. And then he's not afraid to throw the changeup here 2-2. And the location, tremendous.
Delman Young with 1 out.
You throw that changeup to the right-handers. That's where you need to throw it. You need to throw it down and in. You can't leave it up and over the heart of the plate.
Those tend to end up in the seats, don't they?
Yes, indeed. Those don't come back. Those don't make it to the catcher's glove.
Young was 1 for 4, had an RBI in the first game. Delman with 49 driven in this year, 271 average. A former #1 pick, in fact, first overall for the Tampa Devil Rays at that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You have to make sure you don't get too much plate here with Young in the batter's box and 2 strikes on him. He is the definition of a free swinger, which means you can get him to chase something here.
Driven foul down the left field line, way back.
I think that was a changeup, and that further validates what you don't do to the right-handers. You saw the Kadire changeup, which was down. This one stayed up. Luckily for Verlander, it crept inside on Young, which prompted him to pull that ball foul.
Blew him away. Chasing the cheese at 97. He struck him out his second of the inning. 2 gone now for Gomez.
No way you can catch up to this pitch. Even Young, who's a free swinger, had some range with his bat. At 97, you've got no shot. That even looks quick in X mode. X mode is supposed to slow it down.
Doesn't look like it, though. Here's Gomez with 2 outs. Threw it by him, 96.
If you stay up there against Gomez, slightly above the belt buckle with mid-90s fastballs, you can get him to swing and miss like that all night.
That one was right down the middle, 0-2.
Needs to climb the ladder just a little bit more.
Verlander with 2 more strikeouts continues to add to his league high total. Missed it high, 1-2. Verlander had 11 strikeouts in his last start at Cleveland. And the 1-2. Verlander became the 4th pitcher in Tigers history with 250 or more strikeouts in a single season when he struck out 11 in his last start. Only 4 others, or 3 others have done it. And there's another strikeout. A swing and a miss. He strikes out the side. You got Kadire. You got Young. And then he took care of Gomez. Red Wings Premier Week, October 1st through the 10th. More than 40 hours of Red Wings programming, including a season preview special. That's this Thursday and Saturday's regular season game in Sweden against the St. Louis Blues. Got some wall-to-wall Red Wings coverage coming up. Red Wings Premier Week starting Thursday on Fox Sports Detroit. Here's Miguel Cabrera to start things off in the second. Cabrera, then Thames, and then Inge. Scoreless ball game. The nightcap of the doubleheader. Minnesota won the opener 3-2 today in 10 innings. Blackburn retired the final 12 Tigers batters that he faced before giving way to the bullpen. There's a ball inside, 2-1.
Tigers squandered some opportunities early against Blackburn. They left 7 runners on base in the first 4 innings.
And they were 2 for 13 with men in scoring position for the entire game. Swinging a drive deep into left, way back, and that ball is gone. It's a home run. Miguel Cabrera trotting around the bases for the 33rd time this year. Delvin Young in left field never even turned around. RBI number 101. Tigers on the board first.
Dunsing started Cabrera off with his exact same pitch for strike 1. Then he bounced a breaking ball, which Maurer was able to pick. Then he comes back and he tries to fool him with the same changeup, and he absolutely killed it. Boy, does he pull his hands in nicely, which a lot of times when he makes contact, it's with just one arm, but he's so powerful he can drive the ball 400 feet in that direction.
410 feet on that home run. Tigers needed that. They score first. There's a drive to center. Gomez coming on, makes the sliding catch and then drops it. Marcus is aboard. Gomez got there, couldn't hold on to it though.
Gomez has terrific range in center field, but you know he's playing Marcus to the pull field because Marcus hits everything to left center field, and once Gomez got there, he left his feet and that ball hit right off the heel of his glove. That's a play we've seen Gomez make before. He makes lots of great plays in the outfield.
His rule to hit. The Tigers have back-to-back hits here in the second. Brandon Inge, back in the 6th slot in the lineup for the nightcap, had 2 hits in the opener. Strike 1 in the inner part of the plate. Inge's batting average at .230. 2 for 4 officially in game 1. Shot foul back out of play, 0-2. Home run by Cabrera led the inning off. Thames aboard with a single. Tigers scored in the 2nd inning in game 1 as well, but did not score again until the 10th.
That home run by Cabrera, just the 2nd home run that Dunsing has given up as a starter. He gave up a home run a couple of starts ago against the Chicago White Sox and Jermaine Dye, but one of the things that this young man has been able to do is keep the ball in the ballpark. Does not give up lots of home runs.
Well, he's won his last 4 straight decisions. Of course, one of those included that start against the Tigers on the 18th at the Metrodome, in which he went 6 1/3 for Ron Gardenhire and didn't give up a run. 1-2 on Brandon Inge. Ground ball back up the middle, should be 2. The relay from Cabrera is in time, and it goes 4-6-3. 2 gone. Bases are empty, and we remind you that tonight's game here at Comerica Park is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. Here's Curtis Granderson. 2 hits in the opener, including a double and a home run. That home run came off Joe Nathan, which led off the bottom of the 10th. Gave the Tigers some life, but they could get no closer than 1 run.
On the right side of the infield, it looks like Punto is kind of shading Granderson into that hole a little closer to first base where Granderson hits lots of his balls on the ground. The outfield pretty much plays Grandy straight up.
Granderson's homer in game 1 was his 29th.
Granderson has been hitting the ball extremely hard the last 3 games. Every time he swings his bat, he seems to make some pretty good contact.
Trying to raise his numbers against left-handers, though. It is still in the 170 range. There's a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes with Gerald Laird waiting on deck. The 2-2. The hook is pulled down the right field line. Span won't be able to get this one.
Dunsing got away with one there. And that's the last place he wants to miss against Granderson. Hanging breaking ball. Cabby showed him what you can do with a hanging off-speed pitch. Last half inning.
Slow roller hit towards second base. Punto charges. Nice barehanded play by Nick Punto to retire the side. Tigers grab the lead. That guy right there, Miguel Cabrera, 410-foot home run. Well, Justin Verlander has a 1-0 lead to work with. Tigers fans hoping their team can push Minnesota back to 2 games out with a victory here. Cabrera's homer has made it 1-0. Matt Tolbert leads it off against Justin Verlander. Tolbert, Punto, and Span.
Tolbert had a huge at-bat in that first game of this doubleheader. No balls and 2 strikes. He still was able to get a sac bunt down.
Cabrera handles this one.
And you don't see that very often. There's a lot of managers in the major leagues that will not ask a guy to get the bunt down after he's missed on a couple of attempts, but Tolbert was able to do it.
Now Nick Punto. Here's the guy that spawned that nickname a couple of years ago. Hung on them by Ozzie Guillen. Punto and the Piranhas.
Because of that last play he made against Granderson. Barehand, lights out play.
There's not an infield position where he just is not dazzled defensively. 1 for 2 with a walk in the opener. Punto hitting .232. Good pitch off speed, 0-2.
Punto and Polanco were teammates in Philadelphia for a short spell before they came to their respective clubs, and they both admired each other greatly, in large part to their work ethic. Tremendous work ethic they both have.
That breaking ball. Strike three, his fourth of the game.
It's not often you see the right-hander lock up the knees of a left-handed batter, but this is exactly what Verlander does here to Punto. He buckled his knees with an outstanding breaking ball.
So Verlander, after giving up the single to Cabrera in the first inning, has retired 7 straight. Span takes ball 1. Four strikeouts for Verlander. Gives him 260 for the year. One pitch. Slap toward left. Rayburn had him played right there. An 8-pitch inning for Verlander. 1, 2, 3 they go. He's retired 8 straight. 1-0 Detroit. In 2004, you can see that the divisional winner had a very good record within the division, and you would expect that'll probably be the same again this year.
Well, you look at the Tigers right now, they're 36-30 within the division, and right now the Twins have the best record within the division.
Dunsing back to the mound, facing Gerald Laird, Adam Everett, and the top of the order, Ryan Rayburn. A run on 2 hits for Detroit. Twins no runs, 1 hit. Laird 0 for 2 in the opener. Had a sacrifice, scored a run. He was also hit by a pitch. And he grounds one deep in the hole at short. Cabrera backhanded. 1 out.
Hey fans, in case you didn't know, the pennant race is on. Be here tomorrow night when the Tigers take on these same Minnesota Twins at 7:05. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
4-game series between these two teams. Bonine and Pavano will square off tomorrow. Adam Everett did not play in the opener. Rolls this one again deep in the hole. Cabrera is going to have to bounce it in, not in time. Infield hit.
If the Minnesota Twins were playing on artificial surface, there's a pretty good chance that Cabrera throws Everett out here, but of course it's not artificial surface. This is a Metrodome kind of play. You bounce the ball over to first base, you usually get it out, the out, because you get some help from the artificial surface.
So the Tigers have another hit, their third of the game. Well, those days are done in Minnesota now, beginning next year, with no more dome, no more turf.
They finish at home, don't they? They have 3 games at home, I believe.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. So 3 more games of that.
Yep.
0-1 on Ryan Rayburn, who bounced out back in the first. Rayburn 0 for 3 in the series. Dunsing, a third-round pick back in 05 of the Minnesota Twins. Lifted foul back out of play, 0-2.
Nearly impossible to run on this combination here. Dunsing is about 1.1 seconds in getting the ball out of his hand into the glove of Mauer, which makes it impossible for even good fast base runners to steal a base, let alone Adam Everett. Very few stolen base attempts while Dunsing's on the mound this year. 4 to be exact.
Swing and a miss. Rayburn is dusted. First strikeout for Dunsing. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Polanco. Polanco fly to right field. He's 0 for 1 and now 0 for 6 in this doubleheader.
It is such an added bonus for a guy like Dunsing, who's not a strikeout artist, that when you do have a base runner over there, you kind of keep him at first base, which kind of allows you to get a ground ball and get yourself double plays to get out of innings. No substitute for fielding your position and holding runners closely.
It's foul down the right field line,
especially being left-handed.
One ball, 1 strike.
Ron Gardenhire every single spring training goes down and talks to all the minor league kids, and he tells them, if you're not under 1.3 seconds in getting the ball to home plate, you're not going to pitch for me in the big leagues. Point blank, to the point.
Back up the middle and through. Base hit. Hitting the bag at second is Everett. He's coming to third, and he is in there sliding safely. Polanco with a 2-out hit. Tigers have a 2-out threat.
It's a nice job here by Polanco, getting something down in the strike zone and whistling right past Punto. And this is how the maturation process starts with a kid like Gomez. Last year, Gomez might have threw that ball right there in the Tigers dugout. But he comes up and throws it to the cutoff man because he knows he has no play at getting Everett, and he doesn't allow Polanco to get in the scoring position.
But now they will face Ordonez, who is 0 for 1. He popped up. The Tigers' number 3 hitter did not play in the opener. They're looking for a 2-out hit to give the Tigers another run. Strike 1. Now the inside part of the plate. Gomez has always been the type of guy that you could tell, if he could just put it all together, would be an extremely exciting player out in center field.
He is blessed with some of the best athletic tools of any of the players in the major leagues. He can do everything. He's got 5 legitimate tools. And if he ever puts them together, you're going to have an all-star every single season.
He's headed back toward foul territory, out of play.
Of course, he can defend in the outfield. He's got range. He's got a throwing arm out there. He's got terrific speed, power, and if he ever hits for average, that would be the 5th tool that comes with a 5-tool player. Got a little mini fro going out there too, doesn't he?
I was going to let you bring that up. 23 years old too, so he's still really young. 0-2.
You can see that Gomez is kind of shading Maglio as well in right center field. He's got a huge gap in that direction. And he'd score both of those runs. And the reason why Gomez shades him there, it's simple. Magglio hits a lot of balls right where Gomez is standing right now.
Off the plate, 1-2.
But if Dunsing makes a mistake with a breaking ball or a changeup, Magglio can get him. Lots of balls up the middle for Magglio on the opposite way.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Hold foul. Whoa. That thing gets in the seats in a hurry and wraps around.
That's that off-speed pitch, that breaking ball I was talking about he could pull. I wasn't talking about that far, though.
No. Almost pulled that one out of the stadium. It's been quite a September for Ordonez, over 400. And right now the Tigers could use another base hit here to pad the lead. They have Verlander on the mound, leading 1-0 right now. Dunsing ready with a 1-2. Instead he chases Polanco back. Dunsing pitched for Team USA in the Olympics in 2008. The Olympic Games in Beijing, China. Outside again, Magglio laying off, and the count squares now at 2-2. Ordonez's power numbers have really been almost non-existent, but again he's getting that average back up toward 300. Verlander with that cold stare on the Tigers bench, done his job so far.
A cold killer stare.
Inside and high, 3-2. And again, when Verlander pitches, not too many folks sit next to him on the bench.
They don't talk to him all day.
Plenty of seats available down there. 3-2. Crowd getting into it now. Polanco on the move, and a line drive to left, base hit, maybe more. One runner's in. Polanco coming to third. They're going to send him home. Here comes Placido to score. It's a double. 2 runs driven in for Magglio. What a clutch 2-out hit for Ordonez.
Magglio Ordonez has simply been one of the hottest hitters in the American League the second half of the season. It looks like he gets a changeup at the bottom of the strike zone. His bat gets sped up by that pitch, and he whistles it down in the left field corner. And runs have been a premium here, and Gene Lamont just kind of sends Polanco home, and he's able to score without a throw.
3-0 Tigers, their 5th hit already against Dunsing. And Magglio now with 44 driven in.
Tigers were aided in getting that second run by Polanco on the fact that Dunsing went 3-2 on Magglio, and Polanco was on the move. One-handed change piece out of the ballpark by Cabrera last time he was up. He won't get anything else to hit tonight. At least he shouldn't.
With the runner in scoring position, first base open. There are 2 outs. The home run was number 33 back in the 2nd inning.
A lot of times pitching coaches and managers won't want you to simply lob 4 pitches up in the strike zone because they don't want you to lose that feel.
It's in the shallow left center. Gomez circling under it. A pitch to him. And they got it. But a 2-run double by Magglio. And it's 3-0. Detroit or Minnesota? That's your question. At least you don't have to go too far back. 1961. Maglio with a big hit. 2-out knock to make it 3-0. And now Verlander, pitching with a little bit of a cushion here, has Cabrera, Mauer, and Kubel. 2, 3, and 4 as we go to the 4th inning. Tigers pitchers, especially Edwin Jackson this year, have really had to pitch with very little margin for error, and as well Verlander at times too. That's driven to left field, hit pretty good. Rayburn gets there though, 1 gone.
I kind of think it keeps them on their toes, though. I mean, when you have to pitch and stress a lot, you have to concentrate all the time. It doesn't always bode well for the starting pitcher when he's not getting run support, but they definitely have to bear down all the time.
Jackson will not pitch in this series. They had Porcello in game 1. They have Verlander tonight in game 2. Bonine and Robertson in the final 2 games. Mauer looks at strike 1.
He will do that 9 out of 10 times he goes to the dish. It's amazing that a guy can take that many strikes and fall behind as often as he does and still hit 370.
I would like to see what his average is when he hits or swings at the first pitch, because you know more times than not it's going to be a strike.
It's usually by design when he does it, and it's usually in a big spot in the game where he's kind of lulled that starting pitcher or that reliever to sleep, and lo and behold, you think he's taken and you throw it right down the middle, and he will punish you with a long ball.
Good pitch, 1-2 on Mauer.
This is a classic matchup here. You've got one of the most dominant pitchers in the American League in all of baseball in Verlander, and arguably the best left-hander in all of baseball as far as hitting baseball.
The 1-2. He rolled that one slowly toward first. Verlander covers. Mauer has been pretty much a non-factor offensively in this doubleheader so far.
Verlander, for me, is in the conversation as far as the Cy Young is concerned, but he'll probably finish 4th to these 3 guys on the list, with Greinke getting the award and Hernandez 2nd, followed by Sabathia. I don't know how you would rate him, but there's 4 real good pitchers on that list.
I'd probably go Zach Greinke first right now. I think I know that much.
Look at his earned run average.
Yeah. That's amazing to me that you can spend an entire year in the big leagues.
In the American League.
In the American League, too. That's
with
true.
the DH.
That is an American League ERA. That's fascinating.
But Verlander most definitely was in the conversation a lot more at the beginning of September before he struggled a little bit.
Ainge let that one roll foul.
JV had back-to-back starts at the beginning of the month where he gave up 5 runs in each start.
Greinke will have one more start against these Twins. And unless he absolutely blows up in that start.
CeCe hadn't been given a whole lot of love for what he's been able to do. He might be the only 20-game winner in the league.
True. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jason Kubel. Outside. Kubel is 0 for 1. He lined out the other way. Or to right field, I should say. His first time up. Inge will not get that one. It'll drop in. A blue pit the other way for Kubel.
That looked just like the blue pit that Kubel got a couple of weeks ago against Verlander in the Metrodome. When the game kind of sped up in the 8th inning with the bases loaded, first pitch swinging inside out to fastball and finds it lands softly in the outfield. Identical hit.
Yeah, almost exact.
It's amazing.
That one was a killer. Two-out base runner. Kadire spins away from a breaking ball. Strike 1. Really? Kadire fanned, part of Verlander striking out the side back in the 2nd. Another breaking ball. This one stays up. Kadire 1 for 4 in the doubleheader.
If you're Kadire, you have an idea now how Verlander wants to get you out. You've had a couple of plate appearances already in the game, and he's giving you majority breaking balls. But the fact of the matter is you can't go up there and sit on it because the guy throws 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, you'd have no chance.
Especially right now. This is the fastball count, 2-1. In the back of your mind, the breaking ball, because that's all you've seen in this AB, but you have to sit on the piece of cheese right here if you're Kadire, and that still doesn't mean you're going to hit it. Unbelievable. How talented is this cat?
Wow. Well, 2-2. Right at the knee.
Oh.
Fastball fouled away at 98.
I don't know what's more amazing, the fact that he threw it at 98 or Kadire got a piece of it.
Yeah. Still alive.
This is big boy baseball here.
Again, the 2-2. Bouncing ball to second. Polanco. And that is that for Minnesota. 3.5 in the books. Thames, Inge, Granderson coming up. Doubleheader tonight here at Comerica Park. Tigers on top 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. And Marcus Thames is starting things off for Detroit. Brandon Inge to follow, and then Curtis Granderson.
To the best of the Tigers' ability, they need to tack on some more runs. They can't stop at 3. They have to continue to put pressure on Dunsing.
They got the home run from Cabrera in the second, the 2-out, 2-run double by Ordonez in the third. Threw it by him, and the count is 0-2. Marcus the DH here in game 2. Aubrey Huff was the DH in game 1. Got him, strike 3. Looking. Second strikeout of the ball game for Dunsing. Marcus disagrees. Here's that Aflac trivia question again. The Duck would like to know, since 1961, who has more all-time wins in game 2 of a doubleheader, Detroit or Minnesota? 50-50 shot here. The Tigers. Twins have 176. Tigers have 204. There's a breaking ball strike to Brandon Inge.
Added advantage for any pitcher if you have the ability to lollipop that first pitch curveball over for a strike when hitters are sitting on fastballs.
Another one. 0-2.
You have to like the poise of the youngster Dunsing. out here for Minnesota. And really, you have to like what he's done as a starter for them. He's 5-0 as a starter with an earned run average just a shade over 2 down the stretch in a pitted race as a rookie.
Say the same things about Porcello, the young right-hander who pitched an outstanding game for the Tigers today, just 20 years old.
Yes, sir.
The poise. Ball outside, 1-2.
They don't allow the game to speed up on them. When most young pitchers get backed against the wall, they try to throw the ball through that wall. But these two, Porcello and Dunsing, have the uncanny ability to throw off-speed pitches and fastball counts.
Line drive to left. It's down. It's extra bases. To the corner it rolls. Brandon Inge breaking out of it. 2 hits in game 1, a double here in game 2. Now the Tigers try and get another run in.
Brandon simply dropped the bat head in the strike zone on a ball that was down and was rewarded with a double. Down around that 345 sign in left field.
Here's Granderson. 0 for 1 with a ground ball. Tigers now put up 6 hits. Ground ball right side. Punto bobbles. No time. Safe at first base. Although Dunsing made it close. 1st and 3rd.
We've well documented the range that Punto has at that second base position. He's able to get there, but he's not able to glove the ball cleanly. Therefore, just a little bit of a bobble with Granderson running, and you're going to have a very close play, which goes to Granderson this time.
He still almost got it. And he just nipped Dunsing at the wire.
Take a look where Granderson's foot hits the bag here. And when you're running down the line, you want to hit the front part of that bag because it allows you to get there as soon as possible, which sometimes aids that first base umpire into calling you safe. If you touch it on the backside, a lot of times they're going by the sound on bang bang plays. Nice job by Curtis.
Action. Bobby Keppel. Minnesota getting the bullpen working in case they need him here in the 4th. Tigers have runners at 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Here's Gerald Laird, who grounded out his first time up. Seven Tigers hits. It equals their entire amount in game 1.
The reason for the throw over there obvious with this situation. 1 out, runner on 3rd. And Jim has utilized, I should say, Laird by squeezing with him in the batter's box this year a couple of different times. We also watched Gardenhire attempt to squeeze in the first game of the doubleheader.
Scouting reports travel, and Jim Leland has done a whole lot more of that this year than really almost most any other year he's been here in Detroit.
And that's why Dunsing threw over, and then you get this second pitch, at least the first pitch here, that's up and out of the strike zone because they're anticipating possible squeeze.
And another throw over.
And then sometimes managers just want to get out of the way, Mario, in this type of situation. You just kind of let the players do what they do.
And we'll see what the call is here. Another throw back to first. Well, when you have a guy like Laird, who is so skilled at laying down a bunt, the thought certainly crosses your mind. The guy on deck is very good at it, too.
It's also a little easier to squeeze if you're the Tigers right now. You have a 3-run lead.
Yeah, if it blows up, you're still leading. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Gerald is 0 for 3 with a sacrifice in the doubleheader.
That last swing right there by Laird, just a little bit too big. He knew he was going to get a fastball with a runner on third, less than 2 outs, and he tried to hit it out of the ballpark instead of simply hitting a fly ball to center field. That's what you have to do. You have to think about hitting the ball to center field or right field. Don't get greedy here.
Swing and a miss again. Laird behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Dunsing tries to pitch out of a pickle here, he gave up a double to Brandon Inge, an infield hit to Granderson. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase, and that's a big strikeout for Dunsing. It's his 3rd of the game, 2nd in this inning, and so it's going to take a 2-out hit again. Adam Everett had an infield single and scored a run back in the 3rd. Strike 1. Dunsing's strikeout high this year is 8. Struck out 8 Texas Rangers at the end of August. Started the season with the Twins in their bullpen. Tigers have given Verlander 3 runs, maybe more here in the 4th. Bouncer right back in the mound. Dunsing will pitch out of the jam. Tigers threaten, do not score. They lead 2, and we go to the 5th inning.
Slow the game down, which is what you have to do against Minnesota. They have a pesky lineup that fouls off lots of pitches, but he's been outstanding with his first pitch strikes today.
He had the Cabrera home run and the big 2-out hit by Maglio, so the offense waking up much more than it did in the first game.
Well, they've capitalized on a couple of mistake pitches by the youngster Dunsing, which is exactly what you have to do if you're Cabrera and Maglio, a guy that has 2 guys that have tremendous track records and big numbers on the backs of their bubblegum cards. Somehow, some way, you have to take advantage of the youngster, which they have done. And Jim has always said that the big boys have to step up for him if they're going to get this done, and there are no bigger than those two.
Well, Delman Young leads it off, facing Verlander. Young, Gomez, and Tolbert here in the top of the fifth. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Verlander's got that curveball where he gives you lots of body movement and motion coming toward home plate. You think the fastball's coming because the arm speed is exactly the same, and that he throws his fastball in the mid-90s with. Oh.
He went around, strike three. 5 Verlander strikeouts now.
And the good thing about JV is he's racking up the strikeouts with minimal pitches thrown.
Well, when Verlander has a 3 or more run lead, he's 9-3, or the team is this year, and career 50-7. Pretty impressive.
That's the definition of a number one, an ace, a horse.
Carlos Gomez fanned in the second. Verlander throws it right by him in 97, 0-2.
This is where Verlander really needs to think about not necessarily wasting a pitch here. And he knows that Gomez can't catch up to the fastball, so go ahead and finish him off right here, 0-2.
Way inside.
Sometimes you can get caught up after you've gotten ahead of a guy, no balls and 2 strikes like Gomez, at getting too cute out there, and the next thing you know, the count's 2-2 and 3-2, and you've wasted a couple of extra pitches.
Oh my goodness. The breaking ball for strike 3. That is number 6 in the strikeout column.
When you have a fastball in the mid-90s that you can throw right by a guy, or you can come high and tight, and then you come right back with Mr. Snappy, and you can buckle the legs of a right-handed batter, it's a nasty pitch. It's the best curveball I've seen Verlander with this year.
He comes back at 99 on Tolbert, 0-1.
He has thrown some tremendous breaking balls in this game.
Strike called, 0-2. Six strikeouts for Justin Verlander, and he has Tolbert set up the 0-2 pitch. He wouldn't go after the breaking ball.
The first game of the doubleheader had a little bit of a playoff feel to it, and this one most definitely does as well.
Tigers got a run in the second, 2 in the third. They've out-hit the opposition tonight, 7-2. Now the 1-2 pitch. In the air, shallow left. Rayburn for the out, a 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Tigers cruising along in this one. They lead 3-0, and Detroit will send the top of the lineup up there against Brian Dunsing. Ryan Rayburn leads it off, and he takes ball 1 up high. Rayburn, Polanco, and Ordonez. Rayburn is 0 for 2. Fouls that one back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now 0 for 4 in this doubleheader. Dunsing's 1-1 pitch. Dunsing grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and pitched for the University of Nebraska in the College World Series in 2005. He was college teammates with Alex Gordon of the Royals and Jabba Chamberlain of the New York Yankees. They all played at the same time in Nebraska. Here's his 1-2 pitch. Low and in. 2-2. Dunsing, 26 years old. Now the 2-2. Thought about it, held up 3-2. Tigers have gone down in order just once tonight. That was the very first inning. Three and 2 on Ryan Rayburn. And he walked in ball 4. Leadoff man is on here in the 5th. First walk of the game for Dunsing. And a reminder to go inside Big Ten Conference football 4 nights a week with 4 unique shows on the Big Ten Football 4-pack. Experts bring you game plan breakdowns, interviews, and analysis you won't find anywhere else. Catch the Big Ten Football 4-pack every Tuesday through Friday at 10 p.m. only on the Big Ten Network, the only cure for gridiron deficiency. So now we'll see what the Tigers have in store here as we play in the 5th. Polanco has a single and 2 at-bats. And he shows bunt. Lays one down. Dunsing has only 1 play. Polanco with a sacrifice.
Tons of sacrifice bunts here today total. In that first game of the doubleheader, the Minnesota Twins had 4 successful sacrifice bunts.
Kind of an indication of playoff baseball, isn't it?
Yep. Starting pitching usually dictates how managers want to get runners into scoring position.
Ordonez a chance to drive in another run.
This is a huge at-bat for Maglio, because if he doesn't get it done, I doubt very seriously if they allow Cabrera to hit with that nice parking spot down at first base. Base open.
Maglio doubled in 2 with 2 outs in the 3rd.
So if you're Maglio, you know you have to get something to hit here. Looks like they're defending Maglio a little bit more straight up than they were earlier in the game, where they were shading him toward that hole between first and second.
Rolled foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ordonez's power numbers down this year. In fact, his last home run was back in mid-August, and Ordonez hit one against Kansas City August the 16th. Yet the average in September over 400. Now the 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike on Maglio Ordonez. Ron Gardenhire has led the Twins to 4 division championships. He has his team battling for another. Tigers came in with a 1-game lead into play tonight. Driven in the air to center field. Carlos Gomez backs up on it. The runner will tag and move up. 2 outs. Now we'll see what they want to do with Cabrera. pitch to Cabrera in this same type situation back in the third and got him to fly out.
That they did. It's kind of like playing with fire, though. Sooner or later, you're going to get burned. His numbers speak for themselves. 33 home runs, 100 RBIs for the 6th consecutive year, and hitting a cool .329 as we speak. Just as I thought they would do. Smart move on their part.
They want no part of Cabrera. They would rather take their chances with Marcus Thames, who's waiting on deck.
It's a nice job by Rayburn, though, getting back to second base and tagging up on a deep fly ball to center field by Ordonez, because and what it does if you're Marcus Thames in the on-deck circle, runners on first and third and 2 outs. And Dunsing's going to be a little leery of throwing that breaking ball at the bottom of the strike zone. He doesn't want to bounce one with Rayburn standing on third.
And here comes ball 4 coming up. It'll be the second walk of the game for Dunsing, this one intentional. And put Cabrera on, so he does not get a chance to hit. Cabrera used to this type of treatment.
And Marcus needs to be ready to hit the fastball. That's exactly how Dunsing got him out. The last time he was up, he struck out looking on a fastball. Dunsing's pitch count is manageable today.
Sure is.
Not bad at all.
13th intentional walk this year for Cabrera. Thames had a single in the second. He's 1 for 2. Way inside, 1-0. Tigers have out-hit Minnesota in this one 7-2. The Twins had 11 hits in the opener. Wave and a miss. Big swing there by Marcus. 1-1. Rayburn bluffing down the line at third base. He came almost halfway.
Trying to rattle the rookie.
Maybe get him to balk.
Yes, he was trying to. Aggressive.
Granderson did that to someone earlier this year.
He did. And he got the ball.
Yeah.
And scored a run, yes.
The 1-1. Two and 1 on Marcus Thames. Cabrera at first. Rayburn at third. Three and 1. Pressure starting to mount on Dunsing. One pitch away from loading him up with Inge on deck. Crowd trying to get into it.
If you're Tim's here, you know Dunsing throwing fastballs by you all night. You got to be a little quicker.
He walked him, ball 4. Load the bases. Third walk for Dunsing. And the skipper coming up, Ron Gardenhire. Inge due up. They want to go to the bullpen. Wall side windows pitching change. Twins will make a change, and we will take a break.
34th game this year for Bobby Keppel. Comes in with an earned run average over 4.5, 30 strikeouts and 50 in 2/3 innings, and he does not keep the batting average against him very low as well. It's at 280. And Ron Gardenhire feels like this is the best chance for his club to stay in the game. He did not like the Dunsing-Hinge matchup with the bases loaded here in the 5th.
Rayburn started the inning off with a walk. Cabrera was walked intentionally. Marcus Thames also walked. Brandon Inge has 5 grand slams in his career. A chance to knock this one open a little bit. He doubled in his last at bat. And a ground ball, base hit to left. Rayburn scores. Here comes Cabrera. They send him home. Here comes the throw from Young. Off target. 2 runs in. Brandon Inge with his 2nd hit of the game. Nothing Tigers. Verlander appreciative.
Inge jumping on the first pitch fastball that he sees in the first pitch he sees from Keppel, and gets himself a seeing eye single. And Cabrera got a pretty good jump off second with 2 outs and able to score because the throw was up the first base side of the line.
Another 2-out hit. Granderson takes a strike. RBIs 80 and 81 for Brandon Inge, who's had 4 hits in this doubleheader. Singled in his last at bat. Granderson is 1 for 2. And he popped him up foul, back out of play. 8 Tigers hits. Those 2 runs charged to the starter Dunsing. And Thames is still his responsibility out at second base. High and away, 1-2. Keppel, big league time with KC and Colorado. He spent all of last year at AAA. Here's the 1-2. Popped him up. Second base side for Punto to retire the side, but another big inning for the Tigers. Another 2-out hit. Brandon Inge drives in 2, and it's 5-0. And Clee Thomas has entered the ballgame now. Defensive replacement for Maglio Ordonez at right. Verlander facing Nick Punto, and he looks at a strike 0-1. Sixth inning is underway. Punto, then Span, and then Cabrera. Punto fanned back in the third, 0 for 1. There's a ball down low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Justin Verlander very efficient with the first pitches he's thrown here tonight. 13 of 18 in first pitch strikes. And he's about as lethal as they get in the American League when you allow him to get ahead of you with that first strike. Verlander with the overpowering fastball, tremendous curveball here tonight, a changeup, and an occasional slider.
Trying to win his 18th game of the year. He came in at 17-9.
And Comcast is telling us that Verlander has touched 99 miles per hour in this game tonight with his fastball, and has gone as low as 78 with that change piece. As a matter of fact, the majority of the fastballs that Verlander has thrown this year have been 95 miles an hour and above.
Pretty amazing.
Career high in innings and strikeouts.
There's another whiff.
And overpowering.
7 strikeouts.
This Minnesota team knew coming into the game tonight, with first place being on the line, they would see Verlander's best. And they're trying to match his intensity, but they're not having any success yet.
7 times this year, Verlander has struck out double digits. He's on his way again tonight with 7. Denard Span, the batter. In that first game of the doubleheader, the Twins had a hit in every inning except the first, but they've been shackled here tonight. Just 2 hits. And Verlander has retired 15 of the last 16.
The last time Verlander saw this Minnesota Twins team, numbers can be deceiving. He took a loss.
Popped up. Inge. Does he have room? Nope.
On the 19th of September, and was winning by 1 run going into the 8th inning in that bloop single, I should say, by Kubel, drove in a couple. But he ended up giving up 5 earned runs, and Gardenhire said after the game that he pretty much overmatched us, but we just stayed in it long enough to finally get the big hit, which they got. And Michael Kadire simply called Verlander a stud, one of the best in all of baseball.
Ripped to right center field. It's down, a base hit. Thomas over to cut it off. He's going to try for 2. Here comes a throw. He is safe. Couldn't hold on to the baseball. Boy, you talk about Span taking a chance there, and he was thinking double immediately.
That's the only way you get a double there. Is once you hit the baseball, you have to put some pressure on the defender, which he did in Thomas, who had just come in as a defensive replacement. He hits Verlander very well. It's a fastball count. He gets that front foot down, which allows him to get some bat speed through the strike zone, and what a pretty swing. And now he starts to get on his horse, and he's got another gear once he gets toward first base.
14th double. Here's Orlando Cabrera. 1 on, 1 out. Only the 3rd hit in this game for Minnesota. Cabrera has a single and Kubel has a single, the other 2. Outside again, 2-0, and time called by Laird. Rick Knapp coming out as well.
Hey fans, American League Division Series postseason suites are available now. Get your suite for games 3 and 4 of the ALDS. All suites include free food. Reserve yours today by calling the Tigers Luxury Suites Department at 313-471-22 22. I kind of like the visit by Laird and also the visit by Rick Knapp, the pitching coach. Usually Verlander will give the opposing team that one inning where he kind of opens the door and they score some runs off of him. They want to stay away from that in this game today. Therefore, they both went out to kind of slow him down to make sure he gets back to the task at hand.
First time the Twins have had a man in scoring position in this game. And there's a strike in the outer edge, 2-1 on Cabrera. Verlander came in with a 4-6 lifetime record against the Twins, an ERA a little bit over 4. Been dominant so far tonight, though. Fastball line to left center, base hit. This will get a run in. Span will come around to score. They put together back-to-back hits, and Minnesota's on the board. It's now 5-1.
It's a fastball that's down. It's away from Cabrera, who's a dead pull hitter, and somehow able to reach out and pull 96 miles an hour.
2 for 3 for Cabrera now. Now it brings up Joe Mauer. Verlander will have to navigate through the middle of the Minnesota lineup here with a run in for the Twins. Ball 1. Mauer is 0 for 6 in this doubleheader. His average now is at 367. Swing and a miss. Boy, Mauer with a big rip there at 97.
You don't usually see Mauer take a big, huge swing like this swing. He's usually much more under control. But you can sense he was probably trying to hit his 29th home run of the year there.
Sure looked like it. Knocked in 92 this season. Swing and a miss. Well located at 97.
Mauer comes into play tonight leading the league in hitting, on base percentage, and slugging percentage. If he's able to do that by the end of Sunday, he will be the first catcher ever to lead in those 3 categories. Ever in either league.
An amazing stat indeed. Good block by Laird, 2-2.
And he missed a month of the season. The first swing he took when he came off the disabled list in May was a home run. First swing.
Well, he's been magnificent. He's the front runner for MVP. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Gonna try to sneak another piece of cheese by him.
Fouled away. 98.
This may be one of those times of the game where Verlander simply reaches back and gets triple digits. But really the way you get Mauer out is you throw something soft that's fading away and you allow him to hit the ball to second base, which would be a possible double play situation scenario.
And that is a fair ball down the right field line. Cabrera headed to third base. Mauer headed to second base, and that's his first hit in this doubleheader.
How in the world does he reach up to get 98 miles an hour and he takes it and yanks it down in the right field corner? We're going to show you the entire pitch sequence. If not the best, one of the best left-handed hitters in the game today with a great eye. Trying to play long ball early, a couple fastballs thrown right by him. But look at the last fastball up around his neck, inside off the plate, that he pulls his hands in nicely and hits a seed down in the right field corner. Unbelievable.
Second and third, and now some work to do with Jason Kubel standing in. Verlander throwing from the windup.
This is where Verlander has to pitch. He has to continue to use that tremendous curveball he's had all night long. The changeup has also been a good pitch. That allows the fastball to even be more explosive.
Human nature, I guess, sometimes would dictate that when you get pushed back in the corner and you've got a fastball at 98, 99, 100, you tend to throw that a lot.
But that's when Verlander kind of gets himself into trouble, because the opposing team kind of knows that fastball is coming in. A team like Minnesota, which presents problems for Verlander and has beaten them already twice this year, most of these guys are simply just trying to put the ball in play. They're grinding out at bats here against Justin.
There's the breaking ball that you wanted, 0-2. So he's ahead of Kubel. Single for 2 tonight for Kubel. Cabrera at third base, Mauer at second. Twins now have 5 hits. Let's see if Justin can finish him off. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball wouldn't go after it. Didn't go around either. Three hits in the doubleheader so far for Kubel. He came into this doubleheader struggling at 3 for his previous 22. He was hitless in their last series against Kansas City. Way inside at 99. It's no picnic for Laird behind the plate, that's for sure. When Justin starts throwing in the upper 90s at just short of 100.
And missing with his location like he did right there. Just to get glove on it is no easy task. Cabrera at third base is doing a lot of jockeying down that third baseline. I mean, he is busy down there.
Just got a piece of it. Kubel stays alive. Verlander doing all he can to strand these 2 runners. His teammates gave him a 5-0 lead. Cabrera with an RBI hit to make it 5-1. The hook missed high and away. Now it's 3-2. This is only the second batter that Verlander has gone to a 3-ball count on. There's Cuddyer on deck. Rod trying to help him out. 3-2 pitch. Fly ball in the air, left center field. Granderson getting over there. This will score a run. Tagging is Cabrera. He comes in. Both runners move up. Sac fly for Kubel. And it's a 5-2 ball game. Kubel gets his 91st RBI. There's Michael Cuddyer. He appealed that he had left early, but no such luck. Cuddyer is 0 for 2. And Justin steps off. And that's Barksdale kicking the dirt off home plate. Doesn't he have a little broom? Ball 1.
And most umpires do have that broom in their pocket.
Cuddyer looking for his 90th RBI. It would be the first time in Twins history they've had 4 players with 90 or more RBIs in the same season. He's got 89 right now, and he's got number 90 standing at third. Verlander has other ideas. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss.
That's a well-located changeup at 87 miles an hour. If you throw the pitch to the right-hander, you cannot miss inside, and Verlander makes sure he doesn't miss with that pitch inside.
Here's the 1-2. Off the plate at 99 miles an hour. 2-2. And now Justin approaching 100 pitches. He has thrown 31 pitches in this inning. 31. And they'll need another one.
Verlander usually has one inning just like this every start, where he gives up quite a few hits. They score a few runs and his pitch count gets pumped up.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. On his 100th pitch of the night, Verlander gets his 8th strikeout of the game. They get a couple of runs. They strand a man. And he flew away, Kadire.
Off the inning and got a changeup at the bottom of the strike zone, and he used one arm and he hit the ball 400 feet in the left field. Then you've got the next inning with 2 outs. Magda Ordonez, his bat is sped up with a breaking ball down, pulls his hands in nicely and hits a double and drives in 2. A couple of big knocks by the big boys here in the game. Coors Light Freeze Cam, always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Big boys coming through tonight. It is a 5-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Tigers trying to hold off the hard-charging Minnesota Twins, who have won 6 of 7 on their current road trip, including Game 1 of this doubleheader. Gerald Laird, the only Tiger that has not yet reached tonight, will lead things off, and he takes strike 1 from Bobby Keppel. Laird, Everett, and Rayburn in the Tigers' 6th inning. There's a strike call. No balls and 2 strikes. Keppel replacing the starter Dunsing in the 5th inning, and promptly gave up a 2-run single to Brandon Inge, and that has turned out to be a pretty huge hit now with the 2-run 6th by Minnesota. Popped him up, foul ground. See if it gets back out of play. And oh, he got it. Mauer able to make that play, but I think Leland's going to argue this.
That looked awkward to me.
I don't know if it hit the railing or the screen.
It looked like it hit something,
but I don't think it was a clean catch. Let's see.
This has got to get overruled. They have to get all the umpires together to see if somebody else had a better look. And Leland is real calm in explaining this situation right now to Lance Barkdale. This does not look like a clean catch.
No, that hit the fan's hand. And it dropped right into his glove. And Barksdale was right there. There's a good shot of it right there. Bauer sold it pretty good, but it looked like it clearly hit that fan's hand. He's not going to win this argument, apparently. This would be a clean look right here.
Right in the palm and right out of the palm. And then it hit the back of that fence, too, before it went into his glove.
Wow. That's a tough break right there for Laird. Adam Everett, the batter. We're in the bottom of the sixth with one out, nobody on. Here's the 1-1. Fouled away. Adam Everett, an infield single. He scored a run, and the 2-run double by Maglio back in the third. Tigers have put up 8 hits in this game. A couple of 2-run frames. Bouncing ball left side. Short hop by Tolbert. He's played himself a pretty nice third base so far. 2 gone. You know, I'm kind of surprised on that play with Laird is that the umpires didn't get together to talk about it to see if anybody had a better view.
Exactly.
Although I guess you could say Barksdale was right on that play and had the best view, but clearly that ball was touched. Mayhay is the lefty and Crane is the righty for Minnesota. Here's Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn is 0 for 2. A walk and a run scored as well. That's off the end of the bat. 0-2. Justin Verlander giving up a pair of runs, still leading this one 5-2. Way outside and bouncing in. Rayburn batting .348 in the month of September. 4 home runs this month. Checks his swing. They will appeal. Didn't go. Paul Emmel down at first base. 2-2.
Mauer tried to sell it. He grabbed it quickly and reached up to tag Rayburn, trying to get the call. Nice sell job, but not buying was Paul Emmel.
2-2 pitch. Checked it again. They want another appeal. Same result. Still not buying. 3-2. Talk about how good of a job that Rayburn has done in the leadoff spot. When he hits first for the Tigers, he's hitting .319. And he has a looping base hit to left. So he'll try and get something started here with 2 outs. Let's see what Polanco can do. Tigers now have their 9th hit. Single sacrifice, run scored, 1 for 2 for Polanco.
That's what Cabrera brought to the Minnesota Twins when they acquired him at the trade deadline. Some leadership in the infield. Went in after that base hit by Rayburn to make sure he calmed Keppel down and told him to keep the score right there.
Ball one.
That's also something Minnesota has not done a whole lot of. They have not gone out at the trade deadline and acquired anybody. But they felt like they were close enough in the division to go out and get themselves a shortstop that plays both sides of the ball like Cabrera does. Although he has slowed down a hair, he is still a really good baseball player.
Right back up the middle into center. That's a base hit. Second hit of the game for Polanco.
This would be Ordonez's spot, but he was lifted the last half inning for Clete Thomas as a defensive replacement.
So Clete Thomas coming up. They had Mayhay warming up, and he will now come into this ball game. So Keppel will depart after singles with 2 outs by Rayburn and Polanco. And the Tigers have 10 hits.
Right around the trade deadline this year, and Maurer and Morneau were talking about they need some reinforcements, and management went out and got themselves some reinforcement. Mayhay not having nearly the year he had a season ago in Kansas City, but still very good. Left-handers usually don't do a whole lot against him, and nor do righties, but you can see the batting average this year way up for Mayhay.
It would behoove the Tigers to get as many as they can. As you talked about earlier, this is a Minnesota team that just somehow, some way seems to scrap some runs across. They got 2 back against Verlander. They'll tighten it up again. And Thomas will bat against the lefty Mayhay. Blake getting his first at bat of the ball game. He's hit 7 homers this year. Thomas in that first game had a double. Started game 1 in right field. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. It's a ball outside. 2 balls, no strikes. You got the big fella lurking as well. Cabrera is waiting on deck. There's Miguel, who is 1 for 2 with a home run. Mayhay is out there to get the left-handed batter. There's a strike. 2-1. He would not see Cabrera if he loses. Clete. Mayhay's been around a long time, since the mid-90s. Boston Red Sox organization. Former position player. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Clete Thomas. And even 10 Tigers hits with that single by Polanco. Ground ball hit slowly towards second. Punzo has it, shovels for the force. And that's all for Detroit. Little 2-out threat, do not score. Seventh inning on tap. 5-2 in favor of Detroit.
Begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire tomorrow evening on Fox Sports Detroit and Fox Sports Detroit HD.
Here's your matchup: Carl Pavano and Eddie Bonine, who looked really good in his last start. That was in Chicago. He battled Peavy, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Tooth and nail. Uh-oh, that's driven to left. Nah, not deep enough. Not nearly deep enough. Young is out, one gone. So Verlander gets the first man that he faces here in the seventh, and very quickly, too. That's good.
Tigers obviously have had their issues with Carl Pavano this year, but a couple of weeks ago, he scattered 11 hits against Detroit. I mean, they got 11 hits against him, and they just weren't able to put Pavano away.
Yeah, that was that weird game. The Tigers had so many chances. They had him on the brink, it seemed, so many different times.
It was the Verlander game, that crazy game.
Big swing there by Gomez. 0-2.
Good bat speed there by the youngster. He's got a wealth of talent. Does Gomez. Came up in the Mets organization. He was traded to the Minnesota Twins in that Johan Santana deal a couple of years ago. Sparky Anderson was here yesterday, and he was talking about Ron Gardenhire and just how impressed he is with what Gardenhire is able to do with a $48 million payroll and losing guys like Santana and Hunter and Morneau for a month and Mauer for a month, and yet, and here the Twins are, one game out of first place the end of September. Sparky went on to call Gardenhire the manager of the year in the American League.
Really?
No disrespect, he said, to Jim or Socha or Girardi or any of the other candidates, but he feels like with his payroll and the constraints that Minnesota operates underneath, that's your manager of the year.
All valid points. They have a system in place. There's no question about that. And Minnesota plays their system very, very well. And each year they put themselves in a spot to win, or at least to win the division and get into the playoffs. After that, who knows what can happen. The 2-2. Bouncing ball to second base. 2 gone.
A few weeks ago when the Tigers increased their lead in the Central to 7 games, and it looked like they were going to kind of take over the division, Gardenhire told his team, just stay close. You have 7 games remaining with the Tigers. Stay close enough to them, and you'll be right where you need to be. And lo and behold, was he right. His ball club is right where they need to be.
Matt Tolbert with 2 outs. It's just been a remarkable run here from Minnesota, especially considering they've done a lot of this on the road, and they really haven't been, for the most part, an overly good road team.
Playing their best baseball on the road down the stretch.
Playing with a lot of energy, despite the fact that they've lost Morneau and Creedy. In some ways, maybe that has buoyed them a little bit. Bouncing ball to first, right at Cabrera. Easy inning for Verlander. He needed that. We go to the stretch. It is 5-2 Detroit. Who against Dunsing went way back over 400 feet, a solo home run to make it 1-0 in favor of Detroit. Then they piled on.
And you got Maglio coming up in the 3rd inning with 2 outs. His bat was sped up, I should say, by an off-speed pitch to the bottom of the strike zone that he whistled down in the left field corner. And then Brandon Inge and greeting Keppel with a base hit. Both runs charged to the starter Dunsing, and the Tigers are off and rolling here tonight.
Tigers at a 5-0 lead. It's 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Cabrera leading it off against the new pitcher Jesse Crane. It'll be Cabrera, Thames, and Inge here in the 7th. First fastball is high, 1-0.
Since August 25th, a span of 15 appearances, Jesse Crane has allowed just 5 hits, 4 walks in 14 innings, and striking out 9. And Jesse Crane has been tremendous for Minnesota out of that bullpen.
1 ball, 1 strike. For as long as we can remember, this entire decade, it seems, that's been one of the hallmarks of that Minnesota bullpen. They would have some guys coming out that could throw hard. They always had the guy at the back end of the bullpen that could close it down, and Nathan.
They play 6-inning games.
Almost hit him as Cabrera buckles out of the way.
That starter gave you 6 with a lead, and then they've had a variety of different guys over the last 7-8 years to just come in and get the job done. And Crane would be one of those guys. Of course, Nathan anchoring that bullpen. 30 saves in his career against Detroit. They don't want to see him anymore.
No. Although I guess you could look at the other way and say he's due to blow one sooner or later. 3-1 on Cabrera.
Does he dare throw Cabrera a fastball here? If he does, Cabrera is going to hit it hard somewhere.
High fly ball, left field, hit well. Young to the edge of the track. 1 out.
Not sure exactly what it was, but it was at 88 miles an hour. So either he took something off his fastball, or he threw a nice little cutter up there that caused Cabrera to hit that ball off the end of the bat.
I think it was some kind of cutter. Had a little movement to it.
That's the pitch of choice these days for a lot of pitchers. Cut fastball that acts like a slider.
Marcus Thames. Breaking ball in, 1-0. There's the strike. Marcus didn't like it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Driven down the left field line, hooking, foul. 1-2. We're talking about some of those names out of the bullpen for Minnesota over the years. Rick Aguilera had some big years in Minnesota. Eddie Guardado, Everyday Eddie, made his name in Minnesota.
Rincon, Romero, Dennis Reyes, some of your setup guys, getting the ball to those closers.
Even LaTroy Hawkins.
Tremendous setting up for Everyday Eddie.
Manship warming up. The 1-2. Inside. Look out, Marcus. It's chin music.
Yeah, a lot of times pitchers will throw that pitch and then they'll set the next pitch up, which would be a breaking ball. And very seldom do you see pitchers double up with fastballs inside, although I'm a huge fan of doubling up with the fastball inside.
He went away 3-2. A Tigers win here in game 2 makes it a 2-game lead once again and shaves the magic number to 4. Inside, he walked him. It's the second time tonight Marcus has walked on base 3 times in this game. Rick Anderson getting on the telephone. We're going to get a pinch runner now. Marcus coming out of the game, and Wilkin Ramirez will run at first base. Ramirez was able to pinch run in that first game as well.
Usually if you pinch run with 1 out and you've got a 3-run lead, 1, you're looking to extend the lead, and 2, you're going to allow that pinch runner to steal, which Ramirez can do both of. Lots of steals in the minor leagues this year.
So Rick Anderson's talk continues. Home plate umpire Lance Barksdale is out. (5-2). There's your action in their bullpen. Matt Guerrier, the right-hander. Jose Majares pitched in game 1. And he's warming up. Here's Inge. Brandon knocked in 2 with a single in the 5th inning. He's also doubled in this game. Throwback, got him! Wilkin Ramirez has picked off first base. That's not going to sit well with Skip.
Nope, not at all. Especially if he wasn't running. If you're running and you're trying to get a good jump, and you get picked off, oh well. But if you're not going anywhere, no excuses for getting picked off.
So they're empty now with 2 outs. Inside, 1-0 on Brandon.
That's so tough on a youngster like Ramirez when you're not getting a chance to play anyway. He pinch ran in the first game as well. That time, that was at second base, and then you're put in there because of your speed, and you get picked off.
Hasn't had too many opportunities since the call up. The 1-0. There's a strike.
The one game that Ramirez did get a start in, he had a very good day. He tripled, singled, scored a run.
He also homered his first game up earlier this year, didn't he?
Straightaway center field.
Big swing. 1-2 on Brandon Inge. Dunsing started, gave way to Keppel, then Mayhay, now Crane. Swing and a miss. Inge is out. Tigers are done. 7 in the books. Punto, Span, Cabrera coming up against Verlander. Of authentic Tigers gear, including clubhouse caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and yes, a whole lot more. Get your Tigers gear straight from the source at the Tigers.com shop. Well, Verlander back out there. 110 pitches into this game. He will face Nick Punto to lead it off.
How about the 9-pitch inning by Verlander in the 7th, which allowed Jim to send him back out? 10-pitch inning in the 7th.
Well, that really helped.
A couple of starts ago against Minnesota, Verlander threw 128 pitches, which is a season high. And that 128th pitch was at 101 miles an hour.
Punto couldn't do anything with that pitch.
His breaking ball today has been absolutely lethal. One of the best that I have seen him throw throughout the entire game.
Another breaking ball popped up. Shallow left. Rayburn is there. One gone.
One stressful inning here today for Verlander, and they tacked 2 runs on him in that inning, the 6th.
6 straight retired by Verlander, who has fanned 8 in this game tonight. There's Denard Span. Denard got him with a double to start things, or the rally, I should say, in the 6th inning. It came with 1 out.
Good fastball hitter is Span. I was talking to Joe Vavra, their hitting coach, and I was asking him, when did Span kind of go to this approach that he has right now, where he just simply picks that front foot up and puts it down real early before the pitcher even lets the ball go. And he said he did it a couple of years ago, and it's really helped him with fastballs, but sometimes he struggles with the breaking balls because he does get set so soon, and every now and then he gets out on that front foot and the bat comes forward and he can't do any damage that way. But look at the front foot. It gets set before Verlander even throws the ball.
Well, that is odd.
Most guys are trying to time when the pitcher's throwing the ball. I mean, that's your timing mechanism, but he's only hit 14 doubles this year. He's a singles machine. He's not trying to hit the ball in the gaps.
Two and one. He'll step out. I can't think of anybody else that has that approach.
Not this soon. I mean, there's few guys walking around that don't have strides at all, where they just kind of lift the heel up and put it back down, which is similar to this, but he gets it down in a hurry.
And it's going to get through. The seeing-eyed single. There's one of those little singles we're talking about. It's his 2nd hit.
He hits Verlander well. Take a look at the foot here. He gets it up and he gets it back down. Now he's out in front of the breaking ball, and every now and then that's what he'll do, but he still found the hole. That's how you get him out. Verlander made the pitch, but lucky for Span, he found that seam between 1st and 2nd.
It's almost as if he doesn't even pick that foot up. It's almost like a little quick slide.
It works for him.
Cabrera's had a couple of hits. Strike 1. Verlander has limited Minnesota to 6 hits total in this nightcap. Cabrera got them on the board with an RBI single in the 6th. He has driven in 70 this year. Fouled away.
Well, Lyon threw in the first game, which means Jim looking like he may not use him here in the nightcap. And if Verlander needs any help here in the 8th, it'll be Rodney. Possibly.
The 0-2. Ground ball left side, base hit. Find another hole. Back-to-back singles here in the 8th.
Well, here's that classic matchup again.
Boy, is it. Tying run strolling to the plate.
This is the matchup that many of the folk here in attendance paid to see.
Verlander has gone 100 pitches or more in all but 5 of his starts this year. He's at 121 right now.
He's thrown more pitches than any pitcher in the majors this year. By far the most any pitcher in the American League.
Ball 1. In his last 2 starts, 126 and 128 respectively.
Verlander was awfully careful with that first pitch fastball to Mauer, even though Mauer takes the first pitch fastball 90% of the time. When he does swing that 10% of the time, he's doing some damage.
Will get away to the backstop. It goes. Runners move up, both in scoring position now. Wild pitch. That was the bugaboo in the 10th inning in game 1 when Brandon Lyon caught a couple of wild pitches. And what was once a comfortable 5-0 lead is getting a little snug.
Well, you got that base open. You're up by a couple. You've got a guy that's hitting 400 against you and leading the American League in hitting. The thought of just putting him on has to cross Jim's mind because Verlander's falling behind Mauer 2 balls and no strikes. He's going to get something really good to hit.
Shattered his bat, rolled it to first base. Cabrera will get the out there. A run will score. Mauer gets an RBI, advanced the runner to third. It's now 5-3.
You know, we were talking about that early in the game when the youngster Dunston, who started for the Minnesota Twins, and also Porcello. A couple of young kids have the ability of backing off and throwing something off speed in a fastball count. There you have a veteran pitcher doing it. Backed up against the wall, 2-0 count against Mauer, and throws a changeup that gets him to break his bat.
Kubel, 292 career against Verlander. Updated numbers. And there's a drive to the gap in left center. That ball is down. It'll get another run in. Kubel is on his way to second. He'll pull in with a double, and the Twins are back to within one now, 5-4.
We got a game.
Tying run in scoring position with 2 outs. And that's going to be it for Verlander. From 5-0 to 5-4, the Twins have battled back against Justin Verlander. That's their 8th hit of the game. And Skipper is out to the mound, not to take the baseball. He's going to leave Verlander in.
Went out there to take his temperature. Verlander's an ace. He's a horse. And the last thing that Jim wants to do is bring Fernando Rodney into this ball game in the 8th inning. Managers don't like to do that to their closers.
Look at the crowd responding now as Kadire stands in. 5-4 game, tying run at second base. And a block by Laird. Back in the 6th inning, Verlander struck out Kadire. He is 0 for 3. He's fanned him twice. Fouled straight back, 1-1. Look at those numbers, 152. 5 for 33. That's it against Verlander. 2 runs in for Minnesota here in the 8th. Strike called, 1-2. 98 miles an hour. Almost 130 pitches into this game. One strike from getting out of this inning. And a slow roller hit toward third, Inch charging, gloving. He got it. They'll get a couple to get it close. It's 5-4 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. 1949. Well, an exciting nightcap. Tigers lead Minnesota 5-4 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Our Comerica game summary. Cabrera has a solo home run in this game, his 33rd homer of the year. Ordonez and Inge with a couple of RBIs each, and Justin Verlander 8 innings, 4 earned runs. Now Curtis Granderson leading it off in the bottom of the 8th, looking to rebuild that lead. Granderson, Laird, and Everett facing Matt Guerrier. Ball 2 outside, 2-0. Boy, they use Guerrier a lot.
Yes, indeed. You got a rubber arm out of that bullpen, but why wouldn't you with those kind of numbers? Opponent's batting average is .208.
High fly ball hit well into right field. Span going back. Track. Wall. Gone. Oh, the Tigers needed that. Curtis Granderson has just hit number 30. Boy, is that big.
Curtis Jr.'s bat has perked up at the right time. That looks like a little cut fastball off the outside corner. He reaches out and able to get enough of it, and Span just runs out of room.
'30th home run of the season, 70 RBIs for Granderson.
Granderson couldn't have picked a better time to get hot.
2 more hits in this game. Granderson homered and doubled in the first game. Gargantuan home run. There's Gerald Laird. A 2-run lead now for Detroit. Laird is 0 for 3. For the third baseman, Tolbert. One out. The ring of Adam Everett. Meanwhile, Fernando Rodney still tuning up in that bullpen. Young, Gomez, and Tolbert due up when we get to the top of the 9th inning. Everett is 1 for 3. And that's hit past Tolbert into left.
That's what happens when you have the ability to bunt for a base hit. That third baseman is going to be drawn in a couple of steps closer than he normally would be, and you can slap it right by him.
Tigers have 12 hits in this game. Ryan Rayburn has been on his last 2 at-bats, single and a walk. Strike call. 0-1. So the Tigers answer the 2 runs by Minnesota with a run of their own here in the bottom of the 8th on the Granderson leadoff home run. High towering fly ball, shallow left. Elman Young backing up now. 2 gone. Bring up Polanco. A couple of hits for Placido in game 2 after being shut out in game 1. He was 0 for 5. Career follows Crane, who pitched in the 7th. Mayhay is pitched. Keppel is pitched. Dunsing was taken out of the 5th inning tonight. Verlander, meanwhile, has gone the distance so far for Detroit. Ball low, 2-0. Series continues tomorrow with Bonin and Pavano. Then Robertson, Baker on Thursday afternoon. Strike call. 2-1. Pavano has been a nemesis of the Tigers.
And it really doesn't matter which uniform he's in.
No, it doesn't. They'll get another crack at him tomorrow. Two and one on Polanco. Placido with 2 singles in this game. And another throw back to first. Everett, 5 steals. Been caught twice. Two and one. 3-1. Lee Thomas would be next if Polanco keeps it going. Runner goes. Popped him up. Third base side for Tolbert. In fair territory to retire the side. We are going to the ninth. Rodney coming in to face Young, Gomez, and Tolbert. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Last call now for the Twins. Fernando Rodney is in to try and whittle down this magic number to 4. He's got 3 outs to get. Delvin Young leads it off and looks at strike 1.
.241 batting average against Fernando Rodney, that bottom note, but I guess more importantly is the fact that he has 35 saves in 36 opportunities. And one of those stress-free saves would be just what the doctor ordered here tonight.
I know that's what I'd like, that's for sure. Delvin Young is 1 for 6 career against Fernando with a strikeout.
And Rodney going up against the bottom of the batting order here that Ron Gardenhire has run out against the Tigers.
The 0-2 on the ground at second base. Polanco knocks it down. Not going to have a play, and the leadoff man is on.
And Polanco's going to be given an error on that play. He sucks that up all day, every day. And really, too good an 0-2 pitch by Fernando Rodney.
Well, he got there in plenty of time. They ruled it a base hit. Morales now will pinch hit.
I guess he won't be given an error on that play.
Nope, that hit is the 9th for Minnesota. Morales takes ball 1. Morales played in the first game. Was the DH. And had a hit in 3 at-bats. There's a strike from Rodney. Hits for the Tigers and 9 for Minnesota. The 1-1 fouled away. 1-2. You've got Tolbert due next. You've got Punto after him due up. Morales, a .336 hitter, had a good year at AAA this year before being called up. Now the 1-2 fouled away again. The home run by Granderson made this a 6-4 game. Tigers get another run for Rodney to work with. Morales barely staying alive. Verlander goes 8 innings, gives up 8 hits, 4 earned runs, didn't walk anybody tonight. He struck out 8 and threw 129 pitches in this game. He gave Jim Leyland everything he had.
Verlander's 2 highest pitch totals have come against this Minnesota Twins team of the year.
Another foul. .129 was his highest of the season. 1-2 on Rodney. 6-4 Tigers in the 9th. 1 on, nobody out. Swing and a miss. He's out of there. 1 away. First strikeout for Rodney.
You can't help but think about the Rodney changeup when he's gotten ahead of you 2 strikes. And if you're thinking about the changeup at all, then Rodney can blow that mid-90s fastball right by you. But his changeup is so good, and it's such a go-to pitch for Fernando. If you go up there as a hitter and you sit on it early, you're bound to get 1 or 2.
Now Tolbert with 1 out. 0 for 2 career against Rodney with a strikeout. Outside with a fastball, 1-1.
Rodney has the ability to make that changeup dance to the east or to the west, and depending on the pressure points that he puts on the baseball with his middle finger.
Way inside, 2-1.
He'll throw that one that kind of dances inside to the lefty, and then he'll throw another one that kind of fades away from the left-handed hitter.
Tolbert is the tying run at the plate, but he has just 2 home runs this year. The guy on deck, Punto, has only 1. Popped up foul, back out of play. Now 2-2 on Matt Tolbert. Meanwhile, Punto on deck is only 1 for 5 career against Rodney with the strikeout. Here comes the crowd again, 30,000 plus for the nightcap. Tigers trying to push the Twins away. Twins trying to draw even in the Central with a win here. Popped him up. Right side of the infield. Polanco, 2 gone.
Nice pitch selection there by Gerald Laird, elevating the fastball to Tolbert, which he could not hold up on consecutive pitches.
It's going to be up to Punto. $30,240. The paid attendance here tonight, and strike 1. Punto is 0 for 3. Chance of Rodney cascading down. The 0-1 in the air, center field. Granderson, it's over his head. Coming to third base is Young. They will send him home and he'll score.
Oh my goodness. Curtis misjudged that one and it took off on him. And by the time he got on his horse, it was too late.
It is now a 6-5 game with a tying run at second base. How about that one?
A couple of plays that should have been made in this inning and the game should be over, and Granderson kind of gets turned around. I don't know if it hit off the end of his glove or not, but Fernando's got some work to do.
Against the number 9 hitter, Granderson misjudges that fly ball, and now the tying run is at second base. Polanco was unable to handle the ground ball off the bat of Young to start the inning, and the Twins are still very much alive with a little bit of good fortune here in the 9th.
And they probably have their best hitter up, at least from a batting average standpoint, this year against the Tigers in Span, well over 400.
Strike 1 on Denard Span.
Hey, remember we told you earlier, good fastball hitter is Span, therefore you might want to go to the changeup and make sure when you do throw the fastball that it's up and out of the strike zone. Nothing too good for Denard to hit.
It was the 10th hit of the game for Minnesota. Missed the inside corner. 1-1 on Span. It is never easy against these Minnesota Twins. The Tigers at one time had a 5-0 lead with Verlander on the hill tonight, and Gardenhire's group come charging back again. Popped him up into left field. There's Rayburn, and the Tigers' magic number is down to 4. They hold on by the skin of their teeth here in the 9th inning. Huge win for the Tigers, although It got a little bit iffy in the ninth. Big win for Detroit. They'll split the doubleheader. Right now, we check in with Mickey York with a preview of tonight's Tigers Live. Mickey.
Yeah, Mario, and at the end of the day,